I get asked a lot about the best marketing tools for Pinterest and whether or not I would recommend them. Now, I probably get these DMs, Instagram messages, emails. I get comments on YouTube daily asking about really specific tools. And I have to tell most people that I have either not used that tool or would not recommend it. So I thought today I would take the opportunity to actually talk to you about the tools that, as a verified Pinterest educator, as a Pinterest marketing strategist daily for almost 8 years, I would actually recommend. Now, some of these tools are for marketing, graphic design, scheduling. Some of them are for analytics. Some of them are for websites and things like that. So we're going to chat about them. We're going to talk about the ones I personally use and that I have used for a while. And I will kind of walk you through. Now, I think really good marketing oftentimes gets us feeling FOMO, and that's not a situation we really want to be in, because really good marketing can make us feel like we're actually missing out on something, or there's opportunity loss, when in reality, there's really not. So let's talk about it. Now, the tools that I use are either free or very, very affordable. And that is actually a good thing for most beginner to intermediate Pinterest marketers, because you're probably not in a place where you can spend hundreds of dollars a month or even yearly on tools. Now, I get questions like this, like, is this tool worth my time? Should I use this tool? Do you use this tool? Because people trust my opinion. So let's actually just start with schedulers. For example, I use two main schedulers, not only in my business, but for my clients' businesses. And they trust me with these tools. They have seen the results that they can get when I utilize these tools. And one of them is totally free, and that's the native scheduler right on Pinterest. Now, the other one that I use and I often will go back to and recommend is Tailwind. I do use their tool regularly. I do pay for it regularly, and I use it for clients as well. Now, my tools really need to do either one thing really, really well or a handful of things really well, but I don't want an all-in-one soup to nuts tool. I've never liked those types of tools, and oftentimes they're just asking for a higher price for lower quality additions throughout. So I try to avoid those types of situations. However, Tailwind is not one of those situations. They have been around the block for a while. They do Pinterest scheduling really well. They do AI copy really well. They do, the connection between blogs and shops like Shopify really well now. So you really can plug yourself into a platform if you need something a little bit more robust, like Tailwind, and get a lot of bang for your buck, actually. If you've watched this channel for any length of time, you know I have tested probably half a dozen Pinterest schedulers, and I'm always willing to test others. And there are other Pinterest schedulers aside from Tailwind and Pinterest that I have used, that I have recommended here on this channel, and you can check out the Pinterest scheduler playlist if you would like to find something that fits your needs, because not every tool is going to be meant for every business. Let's talk graphic design. Graphic design, I have one tool and one tool only, and you already know what it is. It's Canva. I honestly don't know what I will do if Canva ever goes the way of jacking their prices up so high it's unreasonable, or they just shut down. I use Canva for everything. I use Canva for clients. I use Canva for students. I use Canva to teach on. And the reason why I like to use this particular graphic design tool is because it makes it easy for communication. It's a fairly simple tool for people to plug into and learn skills on that are transferable, and it's easy for me to show you how to do something in that tool and you actually understand how to use it. I do not care to use Photoshop. I do not care to use Figma. I do not care to use Adobe Express or any other tools. I just use Canva for now. So that is what I use. You can even go as far as using Canva for your Pinterest scheduling if you don't want to have to pay for yet another tool, which is a perk. Research. This is probably the most commonly asked question as of late, is if I use specific keyword tools. I do not care to use third-party tools that I have to then pay for that's just scrape the information from Pinterest anyways. I just don't care to do that. So I use Pinterest and Pinterest alone. Let's veer off of the Pinterest route just quickly and talk about website platforms, because these actually matter in the way that they connect to Pinterest and you share content to Pinterest. It also matters how you can go about claiming the site. Is it easy to do? Is it easy to install your Pinterest tag on them? Like, what is the ease of use between your website platform and Pinterest? Now, there are some new kids on the block when it comes to website platforms, and they're probably cropping up every single day, almost like a bad disease. But the ones that I use regularly are always, by default, WordPress. I use specifically Showit for WordPress, and Squarespace and Shopify. Now, I personally don't use Squarespace, but I have a lot of clients that use Squarespace. One of my very favorite Pinterest managers builds websites on Squarespace. I think it's a really solid website platform. Aside from that, Shopify is also a very viable option. I use it for my own business. I'm looking to use it even more for my own business, actually. And I recommend it to other people that are looking to get started on e-commerce but don't want to go to Etsy. So, really solid platform, been around for a really long time. I'm looking for longevity, and I think you should too. All right, let's talk cart softwares, because we are all in the business of selling things, whether you are creating digital products, physical products, or selling services or whatever. It's popular cart softwares like ThriveCart, SamCart, SendOwl, Shopify, just to name a few, are all very worthwhile tools that you can use. I personally have been using ThriveCart since I started my membership in 2021. I think I started my membership. I honestly can't remember how old it is at this point. I've been using ThriveCart. I've used ThriveCart Learn. I've used ThriveCart for the shopping cart. I now have recently invested in ConvertBox, which is a ThriveCart tool, I think. I'm not really sure. But I also use Shopify. And I also have just been known to go straight to Stripe and create invoices and products, straight to PayPal to use for the same thing. So I think you just have to find a cart software that's going to work and connect with the tools that you want to connect to, and just go with it and try it for a while and know that you can always back out and find something else, as with any of the tools that I've mentioned today. Now let's talk analytics. So I use two analytics tools, and they're both free. Pinterest Analytics and Google Analytics. I use Pinterest Analytics for the majority of my Pinterest data, and I use Google Analytics to verify website sessions and users, basically. So what we used to call page views is, website sessions or engaged sessions. So I use those two tools, and I have always used those two tools together to really cross-reference. Now, outside of those things, I use my cart software to analyze metrics for revenue. So I use ThriveCart, I use Stripe, I use PayPal, I use QuickBooks, which is my bookkeeping software, and I validate sales data that way. A couple of honorable mentions. So number one is Riverside. I am currently on my way out with Riverside because I cannot keep up with paying $30 a month and not actually using their tool. I have no justification for it. However, when I am really good about cutting up my content and using it for transcripts and things like that, Riverside is fantastic for it. I adore Riverside for doing all of those things. I will eventually come back to Riverside when I have more time in my business in order to use it to plug my full-length YouTube videos into, grab a transcript, grab the magic clips that it makes, which are the short-form clips, and so on. So for that, I think it deserves an honorable mention. I will be back to it eventually. Now, I personally pay for ChatGPT, not only for myself, but for my team. And I teach out of ChatGPT a lot because I created this little tool called the Pin Bot. You may have heard of it. And I use it to create pin copy, to ideate, to generate thoughts and ideas around Pinterest strategy. I actually customized and trained this bot specifically on Pinterest marketing. And I use it a lot, and I feel like it does a really good job. So I actually pay for ChatGPT. I think it is a worthy contribution to my business, and I just adore it, honestly. I hate the fact that they're training on all of our data. I really, 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 really hate that. I also really, really hate AI images, but when it comes to some sort of tool in order to speed up the workflow and the process, that's why I like it. I don't like OpenAI, I don't care for Sam Altman, I don't care for these billionaires in general, but I do like what it can do for my business. So for that, I will continue paying for it for now. Most definitely an honorable mention is my Pinterest system, which has been copied and resold time and time and time again, okay? People have ripped me off so many times because it is a good product. It is a product that has been validated in the market. In my own business, thousands and thousands of sales on that tool, and it is something that I use for workflow and strategy management. It is something that I created when I started my Pinterest management business to manage clients easier, and it has done such a great job that it is still here all these years later. So of course, my Pinterest system is something that I use and love and adore even more than ChatGPT. Couple more honorable mentions. Number one is ConvertKit. I use ConvertKit for my email list software. I get this question all the time. What do you use for your email list? I use ConvertKit. I've used them since 2016, and I do not see myself going anywhere else for quite a while. The last honorable mention is ClickUp. I use ClickUp for my daily task management, so I use that in conjunction with my Pinterest system, with Canva, with my Pinterest schedulers. It basically is just a way for me and my team to come together and work on the tasks that we need to work on simultaneously or individually, independently of each other, and get all of the work done that we need to get done. Now, you might have noticed there aren't a lot of fancy tools on this list. Not a lot of them are even paid tools. And that is because I try to find things that work really well for my business, that work really well for my brain, and don't cost me a fortune, because I am an accountant by trade. If you didn't know that, that's what I went to school for, and I like to run a really lean ship. So if I can do that, I'm gonna do that. I'd rather pay myself more money and have more profit and put more money into retirement than give software companies my money. So that's what I'm gonna do. Now, if the tools can do heavy lifting for you, then I would say give them a really good go and see if they're actually living up to what you want them to, or what you need them to, or what they're promising you. But don't let FOMO make the decision for you in your business. Don't sign up for tools, then forget about them and just keep paying software companies for years. Use your tools or lose your tools. That's really what it comes down to. If you have any more questions about business tools, about marketing tools, about things specifically for Pinterest, please reach out. I'm an open book. I will let you know whether I like them or not. If you want more Pinterest marketing help, you should head right on over here.